and, making me feel like, talk about self-hate. Well, self-hate is because you have a scripture that says, the Lord said that those things that are pure is going to be of white. When the Lord cleans you, it's going to be white. That's like white clothes, right? Before you go outside and play, that white garment is still clean before you go outside and play. But once you start playing and touching things and eating and running around, next thing you know, your white shirt is dirty and you have to rewash it again. Okay? So that's one way of looking at racism. Racism extended because of things that was in the Bible, about how we were supposed to be put in slavery because we went against God's word. That was something that was going to happen regardless if, our white brothers and sisters helped us or not. That was something that was going to happen regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the Israelite children of God, nappy head, and all that, we went against God and started sinning back over in, Iraq, because that's where Babylon was at. We was in Iraq at first. We had gold, we had oil, we had all these things. God said, I'm going to take it from you because you're not following the way of the Lord. You sinning, you keep fornicating, you keep, fighting for no reason, or you keep being jealous of each other. You keep on not trying to be positive. Okay, this is why as a group of people, we're still in the ghetto. Because, number one, if you look at all races of people, they come over here collected, like together, holding hands. We fought, we went through what we went through over there, and that's how we used to be. When God had to part the Red Sea and all of this stuff so he can get his people away and stuff. The people that was praying to him, it was a big group of them. The ones that were still of God, he was like, I'm going to move you. I'm going to move you away from here. I'm going to save you. You know what I'm saying? But because your people been doing wrong, I'm going to have to put y'all in bondage for a little while, okay? Because your people is not doing of God. You see what I'm saying? So now you got all these black men online teaching self-hate. Basically what they saying is, when God purifies our souls, that it will no longer be a black soul, it will be a white soul once you're purified. But then they take this and say, well, all black people are dirty, and you should be treated like a dog because you're evil sinners. And that's just like totally racism right there. And sometimes as black men trying to rule the world or whatever it is, y'all got in your mind. I'm not going to say you can't do anything you put your mind to do, but look at the last leaders that we had that was black. Why did people say they was wrong? Because given chance for money, they do the same thing the next person do. You know what I'm saying? Kill, fight, steal, and destroy. If that's what you got to do to get paid, the black man is going to do it. He don't give a damn if it's hurting somebody or not. So at the end of the day, when it's come down to racism and stuff, it starts within yourself. Because first of all, you begin not to like yourself as a person. You got all these beautiful Africans bleaching their skin, like literally bleaching their skin, okay? Because they don't understand that they were great. Nobody told them you're great the way you are. They look at that and they read the Bible and they put two and two together. Oh, well, white means pure. Black must be dirty. And that's like the Hutus and Tutsies. They was fighting each other. They was the same group of people ultimately, but one was short, one was tall, so they was fighting it in Rwanda. Like, this is not a joke. This is real. And it's that same ignorance that allows us to stay in bondage. Because if you think you're dirty because you're black, think again. How about this? How about look at the color of your skin as a mineral that gives life to all living things. The same as the dinosaurs. We have about 65, 75, 85% DNA chromosomes matching the dinosaurs. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. So if you were smart, and you knew this, you're going to say, oh, well, they gave us life. The dinosaurs gave us life because they was here first. And they put stuff in the ground that made food and veggies and stuff, and we consume all that stuff. So all you doing is eating old doo-doo and drinking old pee and shit like that. Excuse my language, but that's just exactly what's going on here, okay? So now let's look at this situation. Okay, if you know that when there's a new life, or when you know that there's things that happen and everything needs to be a certain way, that means that there's going to be an end of something. But there's going to be a beginning too. There's going to be an end. There's going to be a beginning. Once something dies, you don't really die. You just go into another phase of life. You go into the other stage. Right now, you at one stage. This ain't the only stage God may have had planned for us, is the human race stage. There's a spiritual stage. You was in a spiritual stage before you was here. You see what I'm saying? So basically, I really don't think that looking at colors and stuff like that and stuff is really a good thing. Because if you really did that, you would see that people envy a lot of people born with color, because at the end of the day, you're able to collect stuff from the universe. You're able to use the sun, turn brown. When summertime comes, we change colors. That's your body working with the sun to evolve. You see what I'm saying? So anybody that wants to make that look like a bad thing is very wrong, because number one, had it not been for the fact that we could be in the sun, we wouldn't be slaves. Where would we be if we couldn't work? Where would we be if we couldn't provide? Where would we be if we couldn't show these people, because we black and because, you are white, and because your body is not able to be in sunlight. That is also not our fault as black people, that sometimes we give birth to children that have birth defects. We cannot attack those kids and say, oh my God, I don't even love this child anymore because this child is bad. Because this child was born. No, you cannot do that, because you were the one that possessed those minerals that begin to break down and do other things to lead to this thing. You see what I'm saying with that? So if we're going to preach that white is love, that's a good thing. That because you are white, that you should have love in your heart, because you didn't have to go through the dirt and the grimy stuff that we as black people went through, rape and torture and this and that, because God punished us first. You're right. That was in the Bible. We lived that. We was able to say we've been through that. So now we are achieving something. So when people online say stuff like, in the future, we won't be here anymore. And in the future, there won't be any more black people. And you got to look at it like the Greys. Somebody made the Greys. Another race of people to be here in the future when things get a little tough. Right now, the fruits and vegetables is high right now. So right now, you get taller. You got a lot of people, they real tall and stuff like that. Real tall people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And people that are, born giants. These giants wasn't just black. You had white giants. You did. You had all types of big humans back in the day that they able to say, oh my God, look at this big old skull over here. Look at this big cranial over here. Well, if you think about the dinosaurs and you think about the first people of the earth and stuff like that, they're going to be big because Earth was bigger. Earth was bigger. You could eat more. You was breathing fresher. You see what I'm saying? So now it's like this. It's like I said from the beginning. People always say when the end of the world come, I don't want to be here. That's a smart person. I'd rather fertilize the earth, help fertilize the earth, and go back into being a soul. Go back into your deities, air, water, oxygen, mist, and stuff like that. and go back into the universe to help my people in the spiritual world continue to build for the other people. I mean, that's what you think about. But when people say stuff like, oh, and because we kill each other, we have abortions, and because we do all this stuff, people don't take it to realize Africans are old. Africans, Americans, black people are old. We've been here for just like God, for a very long time, because first of all, we was dinosaurs. You see what I'm saying? So first of all, we've been here as spirits for a very long time. And so it gets to that point where, like you said, our kids and stuff like that get to make decisions, and the future evolves. And that's basically what Martin Luther King said, that one day that he had a dream that, no matter the color of the brothers and sisters' skin, that one day we'd be able to join hands, no matter what color we is. You know why? Because it's power in the numbers. It doesn't matter what color. If you're looking at a person's color and you saying, oh, well, we can't be on the same team because you're not my color, then you're not smart. Because guess what? It takes them same other groups of people to feed and nourish you, help your kids. Everybody is a part of this world together. So as long as racism, whether it's on the black people's side or it's on the white people's side, continues to happen, then you're not going to get nowhere. You're not. Because at the end of the day, do you think that a doctor is going to say, I'm not going to deliver her child because that's a black baby. I'm going to deliver this white baby's child. Come on, what difference does it make? At the end of the day, ain't you going to get old? Don't you need somebody there for you to take care of you one day? Does it really matter if that person that takes care of you is Spanish or Indian or whatever? Don't you just care about if the person is a good person at heart? At heart? And this is where I'm talking about. I am fighting for the end of racism. I rebuke that spirit in the name of Christ. Yahusha, Jesus, whichever one you want to call him. Because at this point, God sent 16 saviors. From Krishna, I'm talking about Buddha. These people, they say, oh, Buddha, he was a bad person because he was worshiping this other thing. No, Buddha was a holy person. He prayed all the time. He was holy. How can he be a bad person? Why is a person that believes that their God jumps into people? Sometimes I might be holy. Next day, she might be holy. You know what I'm saying? That's what God do. He get in certain people to send a message. That's what God do. So the moral of the story is that as long as we keep looking at ourselves as dirty individuals who, because we sin, we deserve to be punished more than other people get punished. We deserve to be punished harder than other people get punished. Come on, that doesn't make any sense. It don't make no sense that everybody is sinning. So what makes you think because everybody was sinners that black people deserve to suffer more? No. In the beginning, God said, before I made all these other people, there was one group of people that were my people. They went against me. So because I had a personal problem, I decided to show them, don't play with me. God will do that sometimes. Like he will send a storm. He will send some wind. And it make you so scared that you be like, Lord, this wind is so strong. I know it's coming from the outer world, Lord. I know this is coming from something with God, because this people, we don't have the strength to make the earth and to make the wind and to make the trees. We can't do that type of stuff, but God can. So at the end of the day, if God said there won't be no more racism in the future, and all these people will look beyond the color of their skin because I'm going to send Martin Luther King, then that's what God wanted to do. That's what God wanted to do. Martin Luther King died so that people like me will not be afraid to be out walking around outside. I don't have to worry about nobody throwing bricks at me. I don't have to worry about nobody shooting me in America, in Washington, D.C. I don't have to worry about racist kids coming up to me saying, ew, you're black, spitting on me. That's not what they do. So for anybody that wants to sit up here and make it seem like, this one is bad and this one is wrong, I think you are a problem, and I think you have an issue, and you are racist. And somewhere in between, you were looking at history and you pointed white people out and was like, oh my God, they are the scum of the earth. Like, just stop it. Because we the same people that went against our own God and had to be punished because of it. So technically, just like you got, you had holy beings in heaven. I don't know whether they was white, black. Maybe you had white and black people up there in the beginning. Who knows? Who knows? That's another thing I wanted to put out there. That at the end of the day, nobody can go back into history like that, and prove how old nobody is. It just can't happen, because come on, if you had back in the day, you had the Romans. The Romans are very old people. Come on. We learned a lot of things from Greece and Rome and Italy. Come on. So at the end of the day, peace, people, just stay prayed up and realize that it is a spirit out here that is trying to demoralize people so bad that they have that they give up on themselves, commit suicide. I mean, that's the spirit out here. I'm nothing. I didn't have nothing. I wasn't supposed to be here. So let me just blow my brains out. And that's what people want people to do. That's exactly what people want. Because the same people that's that's sitting up here talking about when God cleans you, you're pure, you're white, but yet we black, we better than you. And I mean, it just makes no freaking sense. It just makes no freaking sense. How can you say that white is pure, but you were supposed to be the first kings? I mean, that's what I'm just saying. And then when God gave you something, you decided to still betray the black woman. At the end of the day, if you go look at the Moors and look at what they liked white women. Back in the day, the Moors. So when you look at stuff like that, and you look how we got took into to America, and then the black woman started having kids, different beautiful kids. That might not be a bad thing, because like I told people, when you was a slave, you was living in a house, you had a farm, you had a couple people in control of you. Maybe they whoop you every now and then, but they gave you a certain type of order that in your own life nowadays, you're not walking around with half rags on. You want to put some clothes on. You know what I'm saying? You're not just sitting around. You don't want to be with a dude that's broke now. You want to be with a dude with some money, because you got that idea from being in a house versus from the huts you was at in Africa. It was an upgrade to a certain degree. You might didn't want to make the change. The change might have been hard for you, but eventually once you made that change, and you seen how we got to be known as the people that help out another race of people, because that's basically what we did. We helped them people out, is what we did. And they turn around and you still get help, some form and fashion of help. You see what I'm saying? It may not be a spectacular house. It may not be a wonderful car, but God giving you something. You see what I'm saying? When he could have gave you nothing. Come on. You know what I'm saying? You still sinning. You still doing wrong, but you want God to give you something. That's another thing. But we get mad at these other groups of people. They get married. They do things right. They have healthy kids. Their kids go up. They become doctors. They become lawyers. What do you do for your kids? What do you do for your kids? Do you put them in piano classes? Do you put them in orchestra? Do you put them in violin? Do they go run track? Do they do anything like that? No, they do not. So at the end of the day, it is black people always bringing down other black people, never wanting other black people to get up. That's true. And then you sit back, you talk about a group of people who just showed you a different way of life. You may not have liked it, that way of life. We still don't. But let me see us go to Africa and make a change. Let me see us go to Africa. No, seriously, and make a change. Or go to Kemet, Israelite, and make a change. You can't, because now you got other groups of people in your place. You got other groups of people in your place that you are trying to teach them the way. You supposed to be high up ranked. Well, then your goal is to bring up the weak people. You're not going to see somebody starving, are you? Or you're not going to care because that person did you wrong. So why should you care if they eat? And that's why wars get started. Because at the end of the day, I have these groups of people asking me for something to eat. I don't have it. So they attacking stuff. They do stuff. This causes what? Problems. Then you get other groups of people involved and stuff like that. Things happen. Okay? So, with that being said, what I'm going to say right now is that what we need to be worried about is the fact that people can pretend to be your friend and smile in your face, but secretly sit back and poison you. Okay? That's a bigger topic to me. Because these people that I'm talking about that can sit back and be poisoning you can be your own friends and your own family. You know what I'm saying? They sit back, they're the closest people to you. Are you really guiding me up to be a good person? Or are you just, setting me up for failure here? Which one is it? And so that's what I think we as black people need to start realizing, that we too are our own biggest enemy. Our own biggest enemy. We sit back, giving chance. We rather stab this one in the back, set this one up to prove something to yourself. But at the end of the day, sit back and be scared of God, hoping that he don't destroy you. Hoping that God don't destroy you because you have sat back and not cared about your own people for so long. Or just was doing people wrong for so long that now these people are headstrong. Now these people have got to the point, this is what God want me to tell. The same people that people think are weak are really strong. You think that these people are weak because these people don't have no family members around? You think these people are weak because they can't have no kids? You think these people are weak? And even if a female was told you can never have kids, you know what she's going to do? She's going to give herself the best life ever, to the point it don't even matter if I can't have no kids. It don't even matter because I'm here. So I'm going to enjoy my life. You see what I'm saying? And if God says you're able to be a mother and to do a good deed for a child, there's foster parents. There's kids out here that's hurting right now. They ain't got nobody. And how do they feel? Empty to know that people don't want me because I'm just not related to them. So I have to sit and travel around and go from home to home, and I have to have it hard all the time. That's why I love Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. I love y'all people. I really do, because y'all sit back and with the money that you have, after, everybody have to pay expensive taxes every year, y'all can still afford to give a good life to some kids that was, maybe bound for a hard road in life. But y'all made a way for somebody else's kids. And that's why I love Angelina Jolie and them, because they show an example. Like, we may not get along, but shoot, these are my kids. Once I decide to do a good thing, I have to be true to my kids. And both of them showed how much they love them kids. You see what I'm saying? Forget me. Forget what I got to go through. It's about my kids. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is about. The kids are the future. And there's a lot of them right now. They need somebody. And if people could stop putting people down according to the color of your skin and focus on doing a good deed in life, making it better out here, seriously, then we'll be better. It's just all these little hate groups and stuff. They get online. One person has a personal problem. That's how it starts. He has a personal problem with a race of people because, something that they've done, it just, it irks them the wrong way. Instead of this person, giving a solution to how this person couldn't be like that, maybe the person don't know. Maybe they need a little bit of every time you come to work, you do this. Every time I see you on the street, you look at me like this. I was wondering if you could just, not look at me like that. And maybe the person may not even say nothing, but they listening. Come on. Be great. You know what I'm saying? And being great means that, you yourself are here to do something, period. Whether you have kids or not, you already here. So instead of sitting back judging everybody's life or sitting back picking on people, you ain't no God either. You got all these black men online talking like they God. They ain't got no hell or no heaven to put nobody, white or black, Spanish or not, at the end of the day. And I don't mean no harm, but I love my Mexicans and stuff like that. I can't sit up here and judge them and say, oh my God, it's too many of them over here. They everywhere. I mean, at the end of the day, we everywhere. You in Italy, Spain, Rome, and every freaking country in the world as black race of people. And instead of feeling proud about that, instead of being proud to look over in other countries and see your people were there everywhere, we would rather sit and complain about somebody coming to visit us. Or complain about somebody coming to help your country out. Or complain about somebody that made your country better. Come on.